did get this bottom and top turret down, so it's the only saving grace. As it stands, though, we do see the duo lanes heading back down towards the bottom. They're not going to rotate around, though. Mashmi's having to head to the bottom to just prevent Zuna and Muffy Cutie pushing in.
Yeah, so now it's finally returned to a 2v2 lane. And I gotta say, just minion kill-wise, the reason Mandatory Cloud is 116 to 85, look at Xmithy's Volibear, the sacrifices he's made, 34 minions to Nintendo X 64, because he's gifting his jungle to Mandatory Cloud.
Yeah, it's all those wraiths he keeps gifting away, and it really hasn't, you know, passed through in towards experience, because they're the same level, so it's just simply the gold advantage gained. What will Nintendo Dex do with it? I'd rather have the gold advantage on Mandatory Cloud, honestly.
Yeah, and the main reason that Xmithy has been able to keep up an experience is he's camping lanes. So he's sitting in the side brush, getting the experience shared from the lane, so it's just fine for him. He's honestly not that weak because he's gotten the 4 assists, they've gotten the dragon and the turret, so he's in pretty good shape, and it's a good strategy for Vulcan as long as they pull it off.
Ooh! Oh, the hook on Domash. I mean, they're not going to follow through on this one. Instead, you see the shield being thrown out there, but the fact that Zuna's ahead in CS over Caitlyn is not a good sign.
Not at all. I mean, yes, they've been getting overshoved, but they've made them pay. Getting the 2 assists, keeping Kog'Maw going. Zuna's completely at home on that champion right now.
Well, Psycho Sid's camping out, looking towards that blue buff, gets himself in the bushes. Is he going to try and make a move on Jintei in the mid lane here? Mandatory Cloud's just hanging off the side there. He may go in for it. Looks like it may even be a 3-man collapse on towards Jintei. Here comes Smithy. They're going to keep the pressure there. Nintendo Dex is just off the bottom. They're going to go for this one.
Yeah, hopefully they don't run into Vulcan like they did last time. There's the stun. Here they go.
Oh, Nintendo Dex just gets melted out of that one. Flipped in there. Absolutely nothing he could do with that one. And Jintei was simply a spectator just like the rest of us and let them go down. And now the mid lane turret from Vulcan may well get pushed down.
Vulcan looking really, really good here. They repelled the early pushes. They even out the turrets. Their goal lead is now closer to 3,000 when they finally finish this one off. And they're just waiting for someone from GG to come and defend because Xmithy is happy just ganking all the time.
Not that they're going to fall for it though.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Bottom turret's been left exposed. They've gone back to get the columns, and Zuna's going to get a good burn on towards this one. Don't match me. It's just like we have no vision of the rest of the guys. It could be. We don't know whether it's going to be a 2-man, a 3-man, a 4-man dive. They could have carried on that one, but that's again simply there's no wards down that river at all for either team.
Yeah, they're 0 deaths this game. Vulcan has been taking the calculated risks, and that would have been an uncalculated risk for Vulcan. They
into the fray.
Had no idea where the rest of the team was. They figure if they just fall back, get that tri-brush, they're
Minions have spawned.
And now GGU has a 4-stack up mid with only Mandatory Cloud to defend this. I wonder if they're going to get this turret.
Well, they're going to pile in for it, but Smithy and Psycho Sid are collapsing from top and bottom. Can they get in around there? They're putting a lot of pressure down onto it, but it hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah, Vulcan wants to get initiation if they can. They're punching around the side. The next push that GGU goes in on, Vulcan might be able to counterattack. ManCloud is actually a little too low to go, though.
Well, the slow comes out. Jintei was immediately pressed back a little bit there. Zuna's thrown out his ultimate from the side. He's Smithy getting caught. You can see the damage coming down, but is it too much? And it is Smithy. He's survived. Zuna tried to get the poke in there, but I feel GGU, they could take this turret.
Here's that poke coming in. I mean, yes, they don't have a full poke comp with Rise, but the Jace alone with the blue buff and the tier is just destroying Vulcan right now. They're going to get to the turret, and now it's a question of whether Vulcan can regroup enough to defend the second.
Again, you see that next shot coming through there, just blasting down the
Where'd you find it?
Keeping them at bay. Another shock blast lands, this time on towards Zuna. They're pressuring on towards the inner turret.
Where at?
But have they pressed too far? We're going to see them coming back in course. Well, Mandatory Cloud now is going to chase in towards it, but they are going to back on. Good choice.
Time has come.
Mandatory Cloud is at absolutely full health here. He could go for the rest of Vulcan as well. They want to land sometimes. You're both at about half health. Now even less. Those shock blasts are relentless. Turrets already at half.
And there's a massive stack of minions pushing in towards the top lane as well. The GGU could turn this one around. Instead, Mandatory Cloud goes in. He's on towards Jintei, but the big wild growth comes down. Everybody is escaping this one. Smithy's taken low. They do manage to get the kill. Mandatory Cloud goes down. That's going to be Psycho Sid going down. Zuna's going to try to keep following, but immediately gets caught out. And that was a 2-for-1 exchange for GGU. A great back off.
Vulcan finally got over patient and went in for that one. They couldn't back. They did back off actually quite well. And Vulcan lost that one. It's now 1,000 gold. They poked down the turret and the fight going down. It's just not good for them. They got the shutdown on Psycho Sid as well. Zuna could not chase far enough to get any kills. Even though it's not a full-on poke comp, the fact that the Caitlyn poke with the
the difference, and mid lane was broken fairly substantially. So now we're maybe seeing the team setup that you want to use. This is what they're going to start with. We're seeing all 5 man gathering again. They're like, let's just do the same again.
They should.
Your time.
This is going to be their window. Like, it wasn't the late game, right? That was kind of supposed to be their window. And I don't think they have the late game unless they can make something happen very shortly here. Pause it just
Into the fray.
again, Ray is up. The big thing is, these top lane, they don't know how to get the flash down, and GG might actually get the goal.
Sorry, Tao made the pause.
An eye for an eye.
Stood around it. There he is. With his microphone up. There is Brad coming in with the situation. Right, had these all
Lead me to
straight
battle.
away there. Referee shirts as well.
Yeah, those are fancy new referee shirts. Very good.
Very good. Looks like everybody else is pretty much focused. Mandatory
Your
tab
time.
has called the ball. He's just disconnected from the game. You can't see him in the background. So I guess he's just rejoined with the game. Situation
Into the
what
fray.
he is.
Exactly. So it's top lane. They're coming down for the dragon. I mean, if
Lead
GG
me
was going
to
to want to go for
battle.
the dragon, they're going to be able to stop. It's just a matter of who's up there.
The issue was Mandatory Tower couldn't auto attack, which is a problem when you're a diver.
Who's
That is actually
next?
a very serious bug, as far as I can tell. We'll see if they're able to fix this. It could be.
I know one way of fixing it, and I don't think it's like
No.
it's a death. It's a death. So we'll see what they can do with this one. They have restarted the game, and they have repaused it
Yeah.
Into the fray.
to see if it was working, see if he could attack. He left the game again. They're going to restart the computer apparently.
First blood.
Keeping being kept on the
An
toes.
ally has been slain.
I don't think that's going to solve the problem, but we'll see. We'll see. Nonetheless, we've had this before. I think it was. I remember EG telling me the story about this when they were in China, in Shanghai, with the fun match they were having with World Elite. And it was actually Wicked who was having it.
Could not attack with the Relia.
He couldn't attack with the Relia, and he kept running in and like, kill me, kill me. They're like, and World Elite were like, no, you're trying to bait us. You're trying to bait us. He's like, no, I need to kill you. You're trying to bait us. And then I think he had to go down or something.
Yeah, we can usually die a lot of times with polymorph and fix it as well.
Okay.
Luckily we have a losing game. If they go back and restart the ball time to fix it, it's gonna screw us either way. The team will probably not agree to it. I know
Lead me to battle.
back in Europe, they had suicide. They allowed it, and then the game was able to resume. So if the teams don't agree with that, maybe we have some kind of restart. I'm not sure how the referees and what happens to deal with this one, but
An
that is a very
eye for an
unfortunate
eye.
situation. Just getting
Good.
since it's the old
Chasing this on the outside, still big kills.
GGU is storming back. The shock blast with the blue buff silence sparring were really huge. Also the fact that when you have two
An
tiers
eye
of
for an
Odyssey
eye.
with silence sparring and Jinte, unless you have kind of a wall here, you have to get those upgrades to transform into these Racer and they're going to get to that in about
Who's
5 minutes. So the
next?
fact that they were making a play before that stuff happened actually had really good success.
Because that would be a big win for GGU. Definitely take them off the bottom of the table. They're currently lying in 8th place. Complexity also 3 and 12 as well in 7th place. So it's jumping over Complexity, who will be playing later on, of course. If you missed some of the games earlier today,
Lead me
Crackers,
to battle.
Zone Mid, again, it's very different from what
So kind of like the game, try to play, but it's still not situations like he's gonna kill everybody for us. It's gonna work this time, but I think they have to run more threats.
And in fairness, he did have all kills in the game. But unfortunately, you kind of need somebody else, especially when there's a Dyrus on his 21st birthday split pushing against you. Of course, the other match you just missed was Kirsten versus Dignitas. Battle on first and second. And he came out top in a very convincing fashion after a great
Lead
L1
me
fight.
to
Yeah,
battle.
Curse completely took control of that game. They mind gamed them hard at level 1 with the Explorer Ward over the wall. Just
An ally
knowing,
has
like,
been slain.
almost keeping them twisted. The Curse is going to come in, and they knew that.
An enemy has been slain.
The kid on top lane with that.
Your
And
time has
from
come.
there, they didn't give up anything. Like, Curse played very controlled League of Legends things against Dignitas, who's usually really good with sports.
And that goes down to the level 1 play that we've talked about.
An eye for an eye.
Really research the hell out of the opposition, especially when they're right. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this match, prepare for Dignitas, watch what they do, watch what they happen. We had
Your
elements
time
on it,
has
exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah.
We knew they were going to go for that. At the moment, I guess it's always important. It's like, well, now we get like you say, that one Explorer Ward. It was great to get elements on it because they love to talk about the wards. Obviously, that's their part, the vision of the map. It's great to see. You know, great to hear those words from elements as well. To just say, we were ready for that. We were they pulled
An
advantage.
enemy has been
Even
slain.
Crumbs, when we asked that question at the very start of the day, like which items have made the most impact, immediately I can still check Twitter because we haven't gone live yet, and it was
Into the
Vision
fray.
Ward, he said, because Vision is king, season 3.
The irony.
Yeah, maybe it's an Explorer Ward because that's.
An
But
Next.
Did backfire indeed. And how do we see as it stands? You've just been right. You just had.
An ally has been slain.
Gambit are not.
Lead me
They
to
lost the
battle.
Giants. Sorry if I've just spoiled that for you guys, but Giants beat Gambit this morning. Gambit now actually lost to Fnatic as well as Leo. They lost 2 games. So they're to the air of possibility, I guess. Now Fnatic's
but they have to be getting down. The amount of travel that they've had to do, not only were they
Your
in LCS,
time.
they were the everywhere. You gotta keep in mind, they don't have a gaming house either. Every week for LCS, they're going to Cologne, playing in the studio, then going
Lead
back.
me to
Edward in
battle.
particular is a superhero, by the way, because he has a 12-hour trip from Cologne to his hometown somewhere in Russia, and he still
Your time. An ally has been slain.
Absolutely, Thresh King. If only he'd come over here, be the Thresh King of Bel Air, but unfortunately he's a little bit further away. We just have to stick with Belarus, I think it was. I ended up go with
Your
because
time has
he
come.
even asked me, why Belarus? That's not our base. Why do you why Belarus? I was like, oh, okay, I admit it's wrong. But how do we see? Obviously, you know, this is a pressure situation. It's just looking good. They're just while this is happening, while they're all sat there, you can see that we've got the headsets up.
Who's
You can
next?
see the admin actually keeping them entertained while explaining the situation to mandatory crowd, explaining pretty much what you said.
probably, I think the situation they know the tax bug have
Into
free
the fray.
opportunity to fix it, whether it's dying or whether it's trying to do a call or I believe they would be given an issue with game restart because the LCS will be able to call game restarts if they feel that it's appropriate. when
Into
something
the
goes down
fray.
and it's just not agree. So we'll see what they decide on, but this is very interesting. That was ridiculous.
Hey,
With it too well.
gank.
Okay, well, that's the light
Mid,
gone out.
please.
I mean, we can post about the same
Hard enough to fucking
situation
understand.
ourselves, and this is, it just basically all leads towards the fact that these things happen in sports, these things happen in esports as well. And I think right now, it's happening to us. And Dan, I feel we may be somewhat cursed.
It's like that. I mean, I go to Europe and we had a few delays.
How long do
Leo
I need?
was actually a lot smoother, and then I come back here and it's you.
No, we removed it because
An
you had the
eye
problem in
for
Lille.
an eye.
And then we come
Okay.
together, it's just a culmination of, oh my god, things are going to go down, I think is the most political way I can say about that one. But GGU versus Vulcan, it will be happening, don't worry soon guys. There is of course another 3 matches to come from this one as well, so there's a lot of action to go today. It's a 6-game day.
Into the fray.
I hope you guys that are in Vegas are having fun in your room right now, because you guys are all sat watching, and you guys can party. A little bit harder than everyone else who's watching, I feel like. But
Lead me
thanks
to
everyone for
battle.
tuning in. Obviously, things do happen in every manner of sport, and unfortunately, it's worth once again.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be getting this fixed. They're obviously trying to get
Who's next?
Vulcan has to do because it is the win to move past Counter Logic Gaming, or to move into a tie with Counter Logic Gaming if they get this. Vulcan has been on a bit of a tear lately, right? Like, they beat CLG the previous week, and I think they beat Dignitas as well. Like, they have put up some impressive victories, and they haven't been able to overtake.
Three games coming up. As well as Team Solo Mid versus Dignitas, as we mentioned earlier.
Double kill.
Right after that,
Shut down.
me to battle. Only once have they not been in first place, so it's like the battle is actually kind of turning into a top 3, then Vulcan and CLG are kind of 4-5, and then the rest with Mar and Complexity.
And after that,
Your time
will
has
be
come.
Curse versus CLG, which ironically is what both teams really could consider themselves.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Despite the fact CLG potentially could go to 50 right now, Curse will consider them their main rivals. Of course, they have many members from CLG, so you would expect that. Mainly, these guys actually have some pretty good records against each other.
Yeah, so first for CLG, absolute passion going into that game, right? It's a matter of elements, boy, same vicious, old rivalries, right? Like, they talk about it like it wasn't much now, but back in the day, I'm sure those were tough things that happened. That was the introduction to League of Legends drama that a lot of these guys have had. Even the long-term fans, like, they know all these stories. So those games, even if it's now a first-place team versus a fourth-place team, which is still crazy, no matter what, when those teams play, it's going to be good.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we always talk about it, the jokingly, they try and shrug it
An
off.
eye for an eye.
You know deep down, like, we have to win this game. I mean, even the likes of Aphromu that comes onto it, he's going to have seen amazing stuff. You see the likes of Hotshot on there, forever in the
time
game,
has
and
come.
they're going to think, we really need to win this. The pressure's on these guys, but the Curse guys got so much they I feel we talked about it when the Curse game was happening, the fire inside them. Having watched the Season 2 finals develop and seen it from the sidelines effectively, it's nothing they can do about it. They can't play CLG and that. All that plays in the finals, so there's so much history for these two guys.
And you talk to the CLG guys nowadays, like,
Lead me to battle.
They're such a strange team, because I was watching the interview with them. They so like identify their weaknesses, but they're still not quite there to fix them. They understand each other. Everyone like this. So they change this in a sense. It's like everyone listens to each other. But then they take it one step too far, and these are like pretty much Chowster's words, right? If he's making all the calls, he's not getting fed the proper information. Because we've talked to like Crumbs on Dignitas, where everyone on Dignitas is feeding him the information, so he can make the right decision. Chowster is not doing that. So then they sit there and everything else, yes, they go to make some improvement, but then it goes some other way, right? So their progression is a team.
An enemy
Still
has
needs that
been
time to
slain.
gel. And then, even though we touched on it briefly in the pregame, bottom lane is different, because that used to be double at that one. Jungle's different because Hotshot moved from jungle to top. Top's different because Hotshot moved to top. Mid's different because Big Fat OP got changed. Like, that is
An
5
eye
new
for an
positions
eye.
on that team, if you think about it that way. So, yes, the 8-10 record is disappointing, and they are not happy with it. It's not too surprising when you look at the big picture.
Your team has destroyed a
Like, hey,
turret.
we're a brand new team, guys. Let's see
Into
how
the
this works.
fray.
And you know, every team that gets the transfers, even after in every real sport, think of it, all the transfers they make, the trade transfers in European soccer.
An ally has been slain.
You know, when that happens, they need a time to bed into the team. Nobody's really been given that. You know, you've got to
An ally has been
LCS,
slain.
which
Time
works
has
well
come.
for Curse. Obviously, they've had their transfers, they had. They had a lot of games. They had a lot of problems because they had the likes of Salsa, usual with the best and top lane.
Your time has
CLG, which was surprising. They had that great
has destroyed a turret.
We are about to get the game underway in
Into
a
the
few short
fray.
moments. I did see Mandatory Cloud just suicide into battle. So so hopefully things will be ready and waiting to go.
I don't think so, actually.
No?
I feel like we might have some more problems yet. We'll see how the officials decide to handle this one. These are new rounds for esports sometimes. Sometimes you have technical difficulties in these games, and we do have rules for this. We have like a 36. Yeah. You guys can go read all about it, but yeah, we'll get the more production here with what we decide to do with this one. But thanks a whole bunch for you guys for sticking around.
Yeah, and what we if we struggle with this, we've talked about this already. How much about the Chinese.
Enemy has been slain.
Build that has actually beat World Elite in.
Has been slain.
Obviously, the Type A assassins as well. I guess.
Well, it's one of those things that China, back with the rest of the MOBA community, has always been really good at MOBAs. Legends has become a huge thing. Absolutely crazy amount of players. IG and World League have been up there for a while, right? So like, yes, World League was season 2. They finished, I believe, they lost out in the quarterfinals, right? So they hadn't been the powerhouses yet, but they're once IPL 5 hit, they crushed there. They hadn't lost a set against anyone until like the recent defeat they had against IG in that league. So like those two teams are so amazing, and it's like, it's because of the way they play with their aggression, right? They have the first 20 minutes of the game almost scripted out. Like, I would love to get a really good in-depth interview with, like, the coach of World Elite and how they prepare for the game, because it's fascinating.
It's fascinating, and I remember IG as well. I think they were the first game of the Season 2 playoffs.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah, talking about the over-aggression, everybody calm, forwards, obviously, these things will happen. Let's talk about the Zubu assassins.
In the fray.
The Type A assassins you may know as the Season 2 champions. Well, they're in the Korean community. They have assistants in there as well. Type A snipers, we've seen a lot of these teams taking these.
Yeah, and it's a matter of Mistake going to the UG, right? It's a curious thing, because during the Season 2 finals, a lot of people, like the pros outside, were saying Mistake is the weakest player on the team, is what they were saying. But Mistake was making calls for that team, right? He was spending so much time tactically as an approach, and I really wonder how this is for the time have a Mistake who knows how to make players better. They're putting him on the other team. The assassins for so long. Calls, they probably felt comfortable playing without him, and they would go for a more mechanical player that they could use having knowledge and take the point. Or his coaching so I really want to see how this go.
Speaking of coaching staff,
Who's next?
you can't talk about the Western world, the Eastern world, sorry, without talking about Korea. Katie rolls the beat, we saw fantastic MLG. Dallas, we've already seen Azubu. I keep calling them Azubu. CJ Entus plays, actually picking up victory over CJ Entus Frost in the finals. The Korean teams, of course, Naja, Swordwood, OTM. That's 4 teams right now. They're all top of the game right now. The OTM's going to be kicking off.
These are so deep about it, right? Players.
Has been slain.
Actually take a look at it.
Shut down.
A lot better. And just from practicing all together, just sitting there, just keep getting better and better. We're all the same. We get more together. There's a lot of teamwork, more communication. We usually wake up around like 2 or 1. I'm the one who always wakes up kind of early and notices the bedroom. I don't like to clean or anything, so I use disposable everything. As soon as I got walking sitcom. Yeah, they always try and copy me whenever I do something funny, but they always fail. Try to imitate it, but you always tell them to do it wrong.
Who's next?
Pretty much every room just has a bed. I don't think anyone would want to see Zuna or Ken's room. It's pretty ridiculous and messy. That's what happens when you come to the room with Zuna. It'd be nice to have a sofa.
It's just some bed and laundry. Ally has been slain.
Right here.
These came with the
Enemy
house,
double kill.
so don't judge me
An
for it.
enemy has
But
been
you can judge me
slain.
for keeping them.
An ally has been slain.
I'd say we're definitely really close friends after moving
Into the
in.
fray.
We all get along really well.
Thank you, fun guys. It helps me realize that I made the right decision by working out here. I'm having a lot of fun, but also, more importantly, I'm having fun doing something I love, like people I've become
Lead
close
me
to.
to battle.
I definitely think doing this as a living, becoming a pro, playing games that you love, is
Excuse me,
nothing better.
streamers.
It's a pretty amazing experience. I get to meet a lot of people and they all enjoy the same experience.
Time has come.
Different video. That was Vulcan setting themselves up, and that's how they made themselves comfortable. Of course, earlier on we asked you a question, and it was for Twitter, which item do you think has made the biggest impact on the LCS so far? Why? What you said. So, straight away, we talked about it already. The most impactful item, of course, has been the Vision Ward. Vision is power.
And I really want to see if it continues to progress and the game moves to a point where supports are starting to vision boards. Because you already see some supports going with 1 or 2 vision boards, and they go more and more and more away from the pink boards. I mean, Elements a lot of times doesn't even get the sight stone. It's just pinks and greens. I see more of that.
We have another one here from Luwushum.
An
Right,
eye for an eye.
interesting. What's an enemy has that the AD carry has a whole new set of problems in the team fights, as do I do with the English language.
Yeah, and double lift was
Lead me to battle.
It was actually just changed in the 3.04 patch as well. A 15% reduction instead of a 20% reduction now. Still a ridiculously good item.
The response here from
Into the fray.
Okay. Likely unknown. Oh, okay. It's easier than it looked. Play the room game.
How the Blade of the Moon King progresses and builds as we move on, because some guys rush it. Like guys walking Europe earlier in Copenhagen, Candy Pen rushes right? Like every AD carry has a different thought on how to play the
We're back to see because, ladies and gentlemen,
Into
have
the
a
fray.
This is slightly better circumstances.
it's slightly better because
We know
they can
what's going to be able to happen. We're going to hear word what the advantage. Are we going to take that? So, same first pick last time. Right now, so we will be getting into
Enemy double kill.
So the question is never
An eye for an
They
eye.
used this as picks. GTU pushed heavily so far. They had the picks with it. It's a strong team. They're going to push it again.
As well, they did the pitches when they still want to. Yeah. So if anything, Vulcan want to try to do but I think Vulcan is pretty good. Juno was getting a lot of bombs. Get a couple they managed to trade back soon enough. I don't think Vulcan would have to make adjustments. They might just have to make reactive adjustments. GTU decided to do anything differently because GTU came out of that early game in the deficit, and they're, if anything, they're the ones that want to make the shift.
Let's look across the rest of the team. Of course, mid lane mandatory coverage winning out heavily against also the jungle. Very different style of play.
Yeah, it was a matter of Xfinity getting lanes and giving all the farm to mandatory cloud versus Nintendo X farming up a lot on Xfinity. Xfinity style, he over ganks lanes. When they started winning after their own 5, they went 3-0. He was our MVP of that week because of how much he ganked for Zuna's lane every single time he was doing that. Now XMIT is altering, but they're not really concerned with
Your time has
You know what?
come.
I'm glad to see the I'm glad to see the time. It's you. You want to switch that around? Gotta get yourselves out there. Get more visible. See, look, tucked on the way under there. It's a white shirt with jeans. How's the outfit on there? I can't speak with it. What is it?
Lead
My
me to
tongue is just not
battle.
working. Murica, is that what it is? Maybe that's why it is. We are about to get the game underway. It is loading up and finally resume. It's going to be Wicked University versus Vulcan. And we are back live once again with a fresh restart. The first restart, I believe, in North American LCS history. And it was
We're back into the game. And the interesting thing here is look at all, I don't know if I've wanted to